Hi, Tilly Carlson here. On a sad note, we recently lost filmmaker David Lynch, one of the all-time greats in the filmmaking world. So for today's review, I'm actually going back in time and checking out a 4K release of a film that Mr. Lynch put out in 1986. The movie we're looking at today is Blue Velvet. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinions. There's our cover art there, very simple and to the point, similar to the opening credits scene of the film. Here's our spine text, back cover. We do get a pretty cool packaging design in here. On this side you have the apartment number 710 on the door. And on this side you have one of the birds as seen in the film. There's a pretty good sized booklet here as well. As usual, we get some pretty nice essays and photographs in here. Criterion usually never skimps on this sort of thing, and once again, they've outdone themselves. I'm not going to go through every single page of the booklet here, but there is some nice stuff in there. And some info on the master on the last page. We get the film in 4K Ultra High Def. We get a Blu-ray disc that includes the film plus the bulk of the bonus features. Under the disc, we get this nice spread here of Isabella Rossellini's character on the floor of her apartment. Home from college, Jeffrey Beaumont makes an unsettling discovery, a severed human ear lying in a field. In the mystery that follows, by turns terrifying and darkly funny, writer-director David Lynch burrows deep beneath the picturesque surfaces of small-town life. Driven to investigate, Jeffrey finds himself drawing closer to his fellow amateur sleuth Sandy Williams, as well as their person of interest, lounge singer Dorothy Valens, and facing the fury of Frank Booth, a psychopath who will stop at nothing to keep Dorothy in his grasp. With intense performances and hauntingly powerful scenes and images, Blue Velvet is an unforgettable vision of innocence lost and one of the most influential American films of the late 20th century. Again, it's definitely sad that we lost David Lynch. This man was one of the all-time great filmmakers, and he did a little bit of everything when it came to movie making. I mean, you can go back in time to his film debut, Eraserhead, back in the late 70s, and then you can look at fare like, The Elephant Man, the 1984 version of Dune, and then even later made stuff like Twin Peaks, Lost Highway, and Mulholland Drive. The guy never stopped working in his life, and he created quite the body of work, but Blue Velvet may very well be his masterpiece. The film, of course, revolves around a young man who comes back from college when his father's had a heart attack to help out in the family hardware store. He reacquaints with Sandy, the daughter of a detective, Sandy being portrayed by a very young Laura Dern, and the two strike up a friendship and begin investigating some strange goings-on around the town following Jeffrey's discovery of an ear in a field. And it's not long before he crosses paths with the villainous Frank Booth, portrayed by Dennis Hopper in a career-defining performance. This guy was the king of playing bad guys, and this may be Hopper at his most sadistic and outright evil, and it's one of the reasons it might be the best performances of his career. The lounge singer, who of course is in the grasp of Frank Booth, is portrayed by Isabella Rossellini, who becomes something of a love interest and a person of interest to Jeffrey, and it's not long before all paths cross and all hell breaks loose. There's also a fantastic supporting cast in the film, including Hope Lang and Frances Bay playing minor parts, and even have Brad Dourif portraying one of the men working with Frank Booth. Dourif, of course, would be known in the years following this film for playing the character Chucky in the Child's Play movies. So it's just an all-around great cast. The cinematography is fantastic. There's so many scenes that are just instantly striking and memorable, perhaps for all the wrong reasons, because they leave an impact in your head just from the sheer intensity of the movie. But on the surface, this looks like it's going to be a picture of small town, suburbia, every town, USA, but it quickly devolves into something rated R and very disturbing. David Lynch always knew what he was doing when it came to making films, and Blue Velvet is just a masterwork in every sense of the word. The casting is great. The cinematography around the town that becomes the setting of the film is great. The musical score by Angelo Badalamenti, who's always the regular collaborator of David Lynch when he's doing a project, also sounds excellent and really helps to set the mood. Of course, you do hear the title song several times throughout the film, and a nice little assortment of some other tunes, classic of the era, many of which are some of Frank Booth's favorites, as you'll see when you watch the movie for the first time. Blue Velvet gets pretty gruesome and demented and disturbing at times. The movie's not for everybody, but for me, this is an absolute bona fide classic. David Lynch made his mark here, and in a big way. How does Blue Velvet look in 4K? We previously got a 4K restoration of the film on a 1080p Blu-ray disc. This is essentially that same transfer, but on a 4K disc with the addition of HDR. And it looks absolutely gorgeous. The natural film grain is intact. The cinematography has never looked better. The colors all look natural, whether you're looking at a bed of flowers in the daytime or a deep, dark, dank back alley or lounge at night. Those deeper, darker black levels and the higher shadow detail, they all come together very nicely. Blue Velvet looks amazing in 4K. I give this transfer top marks all the way. And then the Blu-ray disc, like I said, contains several featurettes. And it's good to see that we get plenty to check out here if you are a fan of the film. If I'm not mistaken, these are all features that appeared on the prior release of the film. It wouldn't surprise me if this was the exact same disc, but that's not a bad thing because it is a very nice assortment here. Some diehard fans may wish there were some more new features, but I don't think people are going to complain too much. It's a nice package of special features that fans should be satisfied with. Blue Velvet's not a movie for everybody, but it is David Lynch's masterwork. This is a man who always knew what he was doing behind the camera, and that was never illustrated anywhere better than Blue Velvet. Absolute highest recommendations for this 4K release from the Criterion Collection. How about you? What do you think of Blue Velvet? Do you think it's the greatest film David Lynch ever directed? What about the performances from Kyle MacLachlan, Dennis Hopper, Isabella Rossellini, and Laura Dern? What do you prefer, Heineken or Pabst Blue Ribbon? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. See you next time.